come in my face, I'm going to fight you.
Welcome back to Banging the Can, the Houston sports show that does not apologize for championship rings and tings, presented by Bolen Media. I am your host, Ross Bolen, here today to enjoy your once again, against all odds, somehow, some way, first place Houston Astros. Despite winning just 5 of their last 10 games, despite dropping the first 2 of 3 earlier this week to the Oakland Athletics, who, for whatever reason, continue to have the Astros number, the Houston Astros sit atop the American League West with a record of 53 wins and 49 losses, a game ahead of the Seattle Mariners and 2.5 games ahead of the Rangers. This season, man, just completely bizarre stuff. We've seen 102 games, so with 60 games remaining, it's just about time to buckle up, Astros fans, because this shit, once again, appears it will get stressful. The Mariners, despite having perhaps the most impressive pitching rotation in baseball, have perhaps the worst offense in baseball, and as such, were totally incapable of holding on to their 10-game lead atop of the division, have completely coughed it up, and are now a game back. The Mariners rank last among all 30 teams in batting average and total strikeouts as of yesterday. Sad. But they picked up Randy Arozarena from the Tampa Bay Rays last night, and we all know how much of a pain in the ass Arozarena can be with the stick. So maybe Randy gets their offense going, and their pitching is already dominant. So it goes without saying, the Mariners are obviously still in the race. Then there are the Rangers, who, much like the Astros, have had a truly strange season where at times they looked like pathetic crap, and at times they've looked like the defending World Series champions, and as of late, the latter has been the case. And apparently, they are once again willing to go all in at the trade deadline. So you certainly can't count the Rangers out. At every sports book I checked, the Astros are somewhere between a minus 140 to minus 165 favorite to win the AL West for the 7th consecutive season, because the 2020 season doesn't count. Sorry, Oakland. So Vegas and math favor the Astros currently. But after the disappointing end to last postseason, after the best 7-year stretch in franchise history where you can't help but think we should have landed at least one more ring, the pressure will certainly be on down the stretch of this regular season. We all know the championship window can't stay open forever, no matter how much we want it to. And with Alex Bregman's impending free agency after this season, plus Kyle Tucker and Framber Valdez's impending free agency after next season, we all want one more run at a World Series with this core group of beloved Astros. Will we get what we want? Let's talk about it. But first, are you a baseball player in a dugout full of guys speaking a different language than you? You need today's sponsor, Babbel. The best way to learn a language? Immersion. Living where the language is spoken and using it every day. But if that's not in the cards, you can still learn a language the second best way, and that is with Babbel. Be a better you with Babbel, the science-backed language learning app that actually works. Don't pay hundreds of dollars for private tutors or waste hours on apps that don't really help you speak the language. Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons are handcrafted by over 200 language experts to help you start speaking a new language in as little as 3 weeks. Babbel is designed by real people for real conversations. Babbel's tips and tools are approachable, accessible, they're rooted in real-life situations, and delivered with conversation-based teaching, so you're ready to practice what you've learned in the real world. Babbel's courses are incredibly convenient. I've used them to try and regain my grasp on Spanish, and they make it super easy to learn how to do all the basics like order food, ask for directions, speak to merchants, or joke with your teammates in the dugout without having to consult language apps. Studies from Yale, Michigan State University, and others continue to prove Babbel is better. One study found that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a full semester at college. Absolutely nuts. Babbel has over 16 million subscriptions sold, plus all of Babbel's 14 award-winning language courses are backed by their 20-day money-back guarantee. Here's a special limited-time deal just for the Can Bangers right now. Get up to 60% off your Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/BTC. Get up to 60% off at babbel.com/BTC, spelled Babbel, babbel.com/BTC. Rules and restrictions may apply. So, Joe Espada's first year as manager has obviously not gone swimmingly. But you have to give the man credit for keeping this team focused, taking it game by game, overcoming a ton of adversity. Still, a lot of questions remain for this ball club. Most importantly, when the hell will Kyle Tucker be back? Kyle was having an MVP caliber season before taking a foul ball off his shin June 3rd. He's been out ever since with discomfort, and it does not appear he'll be back anytime soon. It is now July 26th as I speak. June 3rd was his last game. Such a beating. And look, when Tucker is in the lineup, the Astros offense is a formidable and fearsome thing for any opposing pitcher to deal with. But when Tucker is out and Yordan Alvarez serves as the only real monster threat, things are much more manageable for pitchers. We need Tucker. We miss Tucker. We have no clue when Tucker will be back, or if when he gets back, he'll be as effective as he was before his injury. It's a devastating blow, him going down and being out as long as he has been. A frustrating blow for fans when we thought at first, like, oh shit, he'll probably be back in like a week. And then as the weeks turned into now almost months, we're just sitting here wondering what the shit. Kyle Tucker's continued recovery remains the most important factor in the Astros' chances at another World Series. So, pray. Pray for Kyle Tucker. Then there's Justin Verlander, who threw 40 pitches in a bullpen session last weekend. He could be back at some point in the next couple weeks. That would be nice. Verlander remains another question mark for the Astros, who badly need more healthy starting pitching because we're still running AA minor leaguers out there to get their shit kicked in by the Athletics. It's not, it was 7 guys from the pitching staff on the IL still? 7? Seriously? 7? I can't get over, like, it's, considering all the injuries, a minor miracle that we are in first place. And I feel partially responsible for the success of the team despite the mediocrity this year, because I've said it over and it's like I've spoken it into existence that the AL West are not serious people. The Mariners are not serious people. The Rangers are not serious people. And somehow it has actually panned out that way. Normally when I say things repeatedly, the opposite occurs. But here we are. Then there's Luis Garcia, who is 14 months into his recovery from Tommy John, who has thrown a few bullpen sessions now, who is going to need, presumably, a few minor league starts before he's back with the Astros. He obviously hasn't had one yet. Another huge question mark as to when he will be back. Hopefully, sometime in August. But there are multiple guys, like Luis Garcia and Lance McCullers Jr., who we were told to expect back in July. Well, July has kind of come and gone. Neither is back in the rotation. Lance McCullers Jr. hasn't even started throwing again since the team paused his recovery because he wasn't feeling well after bullpen sessions. So who knows if he'll actually be back this year at all? I would say it is doubtful, unfortunately. All of that brings us to the biggest question mark. What will the Astros do at the trade deadline? This season, it's been painful to watch at times. No doubt. And with all the injuries and Jose Abreu causing massive roster adjustments and madness for the bulk of the first half of the season, the trade deadline looms on July 30th, just a few days away. And this gives general manager Dana Brown an opportunity to show why Jim Crane hired him, if he's given the chance, that is. But because of the expanded wild card situation, and the Diamondbacks making the World Series as a wild card just last season, the middle class in Major League Baseball has never been bigger. And there just aren't that many dog shit teams completely out of the race who are going to be pure sellers. There's like 3 or 4, meaning there are extremely limited options as far as teams the Astros can deal with. And our farm system isn't exactly overflowing with stud talent. So Dana Brown, he has his work cut out for him. And the number one need should come as no surprise to anyone. It's pitching. Have you been listening? We need arms, healthy arms. We need at least one other starter. We need another dude or two, perhaps, who can eat up innings as well. And we need them badly. And while the pool of sellers might be shallow, there should actually be quite a few available arms in it. And we need at least one. We have to have one. We have to. I can't watch the AA minor leaguers out there anymore, man. And on this note, Taylor Scott probably been the MVP of this Houston Astros team this season as far as keeping the train on the tracks while pitcher after pitcher has gone down with injury. But we cannot rely on that forever. I would compare Taylor Scott to what Mauricio Dubon did for the Astros in 2023. He was the dude he was the glue. He held the team together when we were in a tough spot. Taylor Scott has been unbelievable this year and deserves so much credit for what he has been able to accomplish while we have struggled to find arms, healthy arms. Also in that vein, Hunter Brown has turned the corner and is looking more and more like a real-life ace. But we've seen inconsistency from Hunter before. Can you rely on Hunter Brown while you're in the clutches of another close divisional race down the stretch? Time will tell, but it will certainly make us uneasy if he is our one of the top two guys for us. I guess Framber, who knows with Framber, what you're going to get. It's still really difficult to read Framber Valdez on a game-to-game basis right now. When Verlander comes back, how good will he be? There's huge question marks all around the Astros pitching rotation. Shockingly, the bullpen that we thought would be so formidable has gotten better between Abreu, Presley, Hader. Those three guys have kind of gotten their shit together in a way that the bullpen is not the thing you're worried about like you were at one point early on in the season. They deserve a lot of credit for righting the ship. But starting pitching-wise, we are still in this hellhole where we're having to throw guys out there who you just know, as you watch them do their thing, we're not ready to come up to the big show and are getting pummeled by basement-dwelling teams like the Oakland Athletics, which it just... If that's your situation in the regular season in the MLB, you will not win a World Series. It cannot be done. It must be fixed. And it's a really difficult spot for the Astros because you're talking about guys that you know have the talent, like Verlander and Luis Garcia, but you don't know what they're going to look like when they're back, when they get doctors sign off on them actually pitching again. That's where it gets really difficult to make some of these decisions. So what will the Astros do at the trade deadline? Most media members will tell you, while they are sure to act, it would be foolish to expect some kind of a blockbuster splash a la Justin Verlander. That is not a thing that's going to happen. All right? So they're going to have to do stuff, but it's not going to be that. It's not going to be some huge surprise, holy shit, we got another, future Hall of Fame ace. That isn't going to be a thing. My expectation is that it's going to be chaos over the next several days. As fans, ignorant fans, call for the team to do things that are patently absurd, like unload Alex Bregman while they can still get something back for him. Or even more insane fans who will call for the team to trade Kyle Tucker while he's at maximum value, assuming that there's no way he will re-sign after next season. It's going to suck ass on Twitter, I can promise you that. I don't know what the Astros will do, obviously. If I knew, I would just tell you. Or maybe I wouldn't, because that would give away the game. I don't know what they're going to do, but I know they got to find a way to bring in at least one more effective starting pitching arm, because we are not in a spot where we can just continue cobbling shit together the rest of the year. Yes, it's nice that the Mariners have fallen off and ceded the division lead to us. It's not so nice that you look at the Mariners and their pitching staff and you're like, well, if we had that, we'd be crushing the entire league. And if they can get their offense going, then we are once again in trouble. It's not so nice that you look at the Texas Rangers, who were sort of asleep at the wheel for the first half of the season, who have now seemingly, like last year, gotten their shit together and are right back in the hunt, 2.5 games back of us in first. So it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a dogfight in a division that is largely crap. And we just happen to be at the top of the crap heap at the moment. That's not something we should get entirely cocky about, considering the circumstances. And frankly, winning the division is not the fucking goal. Winning the World Series is the goal. At least getting back to the World Series is a must-have at this point, especially after the disappointment of last year. And the only way the Houston Astros are going to be able to do that, to accomplish these goals, is by having a starting pitching rotation that can be trusted in the postseason. It's not build a starting pitching rotation that can win you the division. That doesn't fucking matter. We saw last season unfold the way that it did. We won the division, and then we couldn't get to the World Series because our fucking starting pitching got pummeled by the Rangers in the ALCS. You gotta have guys you can trust on the bump when push comes to shove at the fucking pressure point of the season when it matters, in October, not right now. And that's where Dana Brown's wish list gets complicated. Because I don't know how many of those guys are out there. And it's too stressful to go read 40 different articles about expectations as far as like possibilities for who the Astros are going to bring in from like the fucking White Sox or Cubs. Hector Neris, by the way, that's one name I'll throw out there, would be bring Hector back. Bring back Hector Neris. That would be nice. Never should have let him walk in the first place. When you look at what's happened with the pitching this season, it's so much easier to look back at who they let go after last year during the offseason and say, what the fuck, right? It's frustrating. Had a lot of arms that we let go, thinking we wouldn't need them. And then all hell broke loose as far as health with the pitching staff this season. And it's been a slog, man. This has been it's a marathon. We've said it time and again. Baseball season is a marathon. Takes freaking forever. You never know what's going to happen. And we are once again in this 3-team division race. It's going to be stressful down the stretch, man. I'm stressed, if you can't tell. I'm stressed the fuck out. I'm stressed. This is stressing me out. Just talking about it is stressing me out. Maybe that's why I haven't done an episode in 3 weeks. It's not why, but it's stressful. It's stressful. Godspeed, Dana Brown. Godspeed. Bring back Hector Neris. You may have noticed these stylish and inarguably attractive and outrageous sunglasses on my face. These are from Goodr. Goodr. And wouldn't you know it, today's episode is brought to you by Goodr. Why Goodr? Because Goodr is making shades that are fun and affordable enough to make you forget that you have no idea when the best player on your team will be back in the lineup. Starting at only $25 a pair, Goodr specializes in making no slip, no bounce, all polarized shades that you can do anything in. I've got the pair on my face are the Save a Bull, Ride a Rodeo Clown. I've also got the Zero to Blitz. I think I have 4 pairs of Goodrs at this point. I go to the pool with my kids in them. I go running in them. If you've got small children and you wear sunglasses, you're aware that they're constantly ripping them off of your face. My son is 1. He rips my glasses off my face every day, and he yells, ass, because he's trying to say glasses, but all he can say is ass. So he just goes, ass, and he rips them off my face. These puppies that I am wearing, strong as an ox. He can't break them. He can't damage them. And they're tough to get off my face, frankly. Much more tough than my prescription regular glasses. Goodr are fantastic. They have over 50,000 5-star reviews. Every pair comes with a 1-year warranty plus 30-day free returns. They're a 100% carbon-neutral company. They're just gooder than everyone else, like the Astros currently in the AL West. What makes Goodr different? 100% polarized and only $25. Stop dropping hundreds of dollars on sunglasses you're just going to lose or break. These look better, they feel better, they perform better, and they're only $25. Because they're so affordable, I never have to worry about losing or breaking them. They're always releasing new colors and collabs so you can lay low or get wild. The names of every pair are hilarious, like the Back 9 Blackout, Flamingos on a Booze Cruise, Donkey Goggles, great for cycling, working out, golfing, going to the beach, hiking, running, or just chilling. They're lightweight, stylish, don't slip off your face. Look at me moving around. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. They're staying on. Strong like an ox. If you want to support our show and try a pair, Goodr is giving can bangers free shipping With every order, just go to goodr.com/BTC and use code BTC when you check out for free shipping. Goodr offers a 30-day money-back guarantee and 100% satisfaction. That's goodr.com/BTC, code BTC for free shipping, GOODR.com/BTC. Hit the link in the episode description below and check out all the incredible frames that Goodr has to offer. So, the Astros start their 3-game series against the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight in Minute Maid Park. Huge 3-game series here. 7:10 start time tonight, Friday. 6:10 start time on Saturday, and an afternoon game at 1:10 on Sunday. Big series, obviously, with the Dodgers sitting at 62 wins, trailing only the Phillies in the National League. Everybody knows the Dodgers are absurdly stacked. It's a very, very, very large payroll that the Dodgers are working with. Great baseball team. Good chance for the Astros to prove that despite all the pitching injuries, despite everything that's going on all season long, as far as guys going down, as far as drama, as far as question marks around the new management and the front office and what's going on with Joe Espada and Dana Brown and Jim Crane and fucking Jose Abreu and all the pitching injuries and everything else and Kyle Tucker. Huge chance to show that despite all of the adversity, you can still play with the big dogs, which is what the Astros need to do. So we've got Framber Valdez on the mound tonight against Gavin Stone. Ronel Blanco on the bump for Game 2 tomorrow. Looks like Spencer Arrighetti for Game 3 on Sunday. I still feel really, really good about where the Astros are at. That they clawed their way back shows a lot about this team. Their mentality, their leadership, their belief in themselves, and just knowing that they've got the talent. Because, like, when you say names like Framber Valdez and Ronel Blanco, when you see how Arrighetti, despite some recent struggles, has stepped up and kind of gotten better and better and put himself in a position to be like maybe a 5 or 6 guy in the rotation, or 4 or 5 guy, who knows, depending on how good he does. When you know you've got dudes like Verlander, like Luis Garcia, returning hopefully soon, you start to feel a little bit better. It's just the fact that there's this uncertainty around all the pitching. That's the big problem that hopefully we can at least partially solve before the trade deadline, July 30th. That's where we're at with the Astros. In Rockets news, the newest member of the squad, Reed Shepherd, has been melting people's faces in Summer League. Very cool to see. Might not matter at all, as crushing in Summer League doesn't exactly mean you'll do the same when the real show starts, but still it's cool to see Reed Shepherd out there balling. Cannot wait to see him and the rest of the young Rockets core in October. It's going to be a very exciting year for Houston Rockets basketball. I am super, super pumped to see the Rockets get back out there and start doing their thing. Obviously, I'm very stoked for the Texans season 2 when that comes back. I miss it. It's just like the part of the year or outside of the Olympics, obviously starting up. I think the opening ceremony begins in as I speak, actually. It's just baseball season right now, right? And can get a little rough when we only have baseball to turn to. So very stoked for football season and basketball season to hit us eventually. We can't end today's show without recognizing Gene Peterson, Houston Rockets radio broadcaster for more than 3 decades, who died Wednesday at 83 years old. Gene was the voice behind innumerable classic Rockets moments on the radio. R.I.P. Gene. And that will do it for today's show. Remember, every episode of Banging the Can is available on all of the podcast platforms, all the major ones anyway, as well as in full video for you to watch on youtube.com/@bangingthecan. Go subscribe. If you're here watching right now on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave us a comment, turn on notifications so you know every single time a new video drops, a new episode drops. If you're listening on the podcast platforms, rate and review our show. That means a lot and helps us out, helps us continue to grow. We appreciate you. On that note, please share the most unapologetic Houston sports show in existence with your friends and family. Follow us on social media at Banging the Can, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. Support our sponsors. Links and codes and details for today's sponsors in the episode description. Whether you're on YouTube or the podcast platforms, that remains the same. Check out Bolen Media, who presents this show to you, by going to bolenmedia.com. My comedy show, The Ross Bolen Podcast, available wherever you get Banging the Can. If you're watching House of the Dragon on HBO and you want a companion podcast that's going to make that show 2 to 3 times more fun for you, results may vary. Check out one of my other shows, Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, available wherever you get Banging the Can, including here on YouTube. And we give you a companion podcast for every single episode of House of the Dragon. Me and one of my best friends of over 20 years, Mr. Barrett Dudley, who was also born and raised in Houston and now lives here in Austin with me. We break down, discuss, and laugh about every single episode of House of the Dragon, having a blast doing it. You can go check out all 6 existing episodes for Season 2 of House of the Dragon so far, Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. If you're an F1 fan, check out Formula Bone, youtube.com/@FormulaBone, Bolen Media's premier F1 programming. Some, no, many, are calling it the best American-made F1 content in the world, hosted by Jared J. Bone Borislow. Formula Bone brings you the latest and greatest in F1 every single week, all season long, with previews and recaps of every single race and all the latest news and drama in the world of F1. At Formula Bone on social media as well. I am Ross Bolen. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at WRBolen. I'll be back soon. I promise you that. This was a big break between shows, I know. I was getting crushed with other work that made this work not available to me. But I'm back doing shows again down the stretch here. Major League Baseball season. Important stuff. Astros, trade deadline. When is the trade deadline? It's I know it's the 30th. I'm saying what day is that? That's Tuesday. So let's assume I'll be back either Wednesday or Thursday of next week, likely Wednesday, before July comes to a close, to get one more episode in to talk about what the Astros do at the deadline at the very least. Until next time, H-Town, stay down.